Gemara B'ezras I'm doing today Daf Mem Gimel Amud Aleph. We're on the bottom of Mem Bet Amud Bet, where it says Mistamich ve'azil. So the first one on the line is Machloket, and then it says Mistamich ve'azil. So we're in the middle of discussing. Okay, Tov. We're in the middle of discussing the halachot of Havchana, and the Gemara takes a little bit of a sidetrack and is going to get involved in the rule of halacha kestam mishnah. So the Gemara says, "Mistamech ve'azil Rabbi Yevamot akatfe Rabbi Nachum shamesh." So Rabbi Yevamot was going together with Rabbi Nachum, his shamash. Man kit ve'azil hilchet amine. They were going and he was asking him. He was learning halachot from him. So Ba'amine, so Rabbi Nachum asked Rabbi Yevamot, Machloket v'achagach stam mai. What's the halacha when you have a machloket in one mishnah, and then afterwards you have a stam mishnah that picks one side? So Amar le halacha kestam. He says halacha is like the stam mishnah that picks a side. Okay, stam v'achagach machloket mai. He said, what if you first have a stam mishnah, and then afterwards you have a machloket? So Amalein halacha kestam. Then the halacha is not like the stam mishnah. If a machloket comes afterwards, you can't assume that halacha is like the stam mishnah. So he said, okay, stama dematnitin umachloket bebraita mai. So let's say you have a stam mishnah in the mishnayot, and then in some braita somewhere you have a machloket. So then what's the halacha? So Amalei halacha kestam. Halacha is like the stam mishnah. Last line, machloket b'matnitin, v'stama bebraita. When you have a machloket in the mishnayot, and in a braita you have a stam mishnah. Bottom of Membet Amud Bet. Yeah. Stama bebraita, v'stama bebraita. So you have machloket in the mishnah, and a stam braita that chooses one side of the machloket. What's the halacha? So Amar le, so Rabbi Yevamot told him, V'chi Rebbe lo shena, Rebbe Chia minayin lo. If Rebbe didn't have it, where did Rebbe Chia get it from? Meaning, Rebbe wrote the Mishnayot, Rebbe Chia wrote the Braita. So if Rebbe didn't teach this, Rebbe was the teacher of Rebbe Chia. Rebbe Chia was the Talmid. So if Rebbe didn't teach this opinion, where did Rebbe Chia get it from? That means Rebbe knew this opinion that was in the Braita, and he still didn't include it. So when we have a machloket in the Mishnah, and we have a stam Braita, Rebbe also knew that Braita, but he didn't include it in the Mishnayot. Obviously, it means he holds that that's not necessarily the halacha. So Amar le, so the Rav Nachman told Rabbi Yevamot he's going to challenge this rule. He says V'hatanan. So the Gemara is going to bring a Mishnah that really has nothing to do with anything about Yevamot. We're just going to bring it because it's a Stam Mishnah, and we say halacha is not like the Stam Mishnah. So we're challenging this rule that you say halacha is like the Stam Mishnah. So this Mishnah is in Masechet Kelim. It's talking about Tumah v'Tara. We're on the top of Daf Mem Gimel Amud Aleph. Second line. He says V'hatnan Masrek Shel Pishtan. If you have a comb that's used to comb flax, used to comb pishtan. So again, there's different types of combs that are used for different things. This Mishnah is going to talk about if it breaks, whether it can be mekabel tuma. So there's a rule: if a kli is mekabel tuma, a kli can become tameh. Now, if the kli breaks, it depends how badly it breaks. If it still can function for its use, so then it's still mekabel tuma. But if it can no longer function properly for its use, so it's not mekabel tuma anymore. So now there's different types of combs, and they're shaped a little bit differently based off of what they're used for. So masrek shel pishtan, a comb that's used to comb pishtan, shenitlu shinav, that the teeth of the comb came out. V'nishtayru bo shtaim, and two of the teeth stayed in, temeot, then it's tameh. V'achat tehora. If there's only one comb left, then two thing of the comb left, then it's not functional, and it's tahor, it's not mekabel tuma anymore. V'kulan shenitlu achat achat b'fnei atzman temeot, and all of the teeth that came out, each one is tameh, because you can use each one of the teeth. Rashi says either to fix a candle. They would use it to fix a candle, to like take the black from the candle, or to pin in clothing. Okay. Shel tzemer, but if you have a comb that's used for wool, that over there the teeth are a little bit different. The way they're shaped is a little bit different. It seems like from Rashi that they have sets of three. Have three teeth, sets of three, and there may be some longer ones and some shorter ones. One's to catch the hair, one's to comb through the hair. So shel tzemer shenitlu shinav, achad mi bentayim. If one of the middle teeth came out, tahor, then it's tahor, because it doesn't have them. It needs the middle one specifically, right? Because you have sets of three teeth. If the middle one is gone, so the other ones are too far apart, it can't do its function. Nishtayru bo shalosh b'makom echad tameh. But as long as there's three full teeth in one area, then it's good. Haita hachitzona achat mehen tahor v'achat mehen. If one of the three in a row is the outest, is the end of the comb, so tahor. That's not functional. That doesn't count as part of. You need three in a row, and it needs to be not the end one. Nitlu shtaim v'asan lemlaket. If two of the prongs came out and he made it into tweezers, temeot, and they're tameh, because that's a new kli. Achat v'hitkina lener. If he has one of them came out and he made it to use for the candle, or limituach, or to like stick in clothes to like stretch them out. So temeah, then it's tameh, because he made it into a kli. So that's the Mishnah. So he asked him, we say halacha is not like that Mishnah. So you're telling me halacha is like a stam Mishnah. Here's a stam Mishnah. Halacha is not like that Mishnah. So Amar le bar minedai. So Rabbi Yevamot told him, no, I'm not talking about this. This is different. This is a special case. The Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish, Damri Tarvai, who's zoyin a Mishnah. Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish, they both say this Mishnah doesn't count. There's something wrong with this Mishnah, and therefore we don't count it. We don't paskin like it. My Tama, what's the problem? What's the reason? What's the issue with this Mishnah? What's wrong with it? So Amar Rav Huna bar Manoach. Rav Huna bar Manoach says, Mishmei de Rav Idi Berei de Ravika, Mishum Dekash Ereisha Lesefa. Because this Mishnah, in the Mishnah itself, there's a contradiction. From the beginning to the end of the Mishnah, you have a contradiction. Why? Diktani shel tzemer shenitlu shinav achat mi bentayim tahor. Because we said if you have a comb that's used to comb wool, if one of the prongs, one of the teeth of the comb falls out from the middle, right? You have three in a row, and one of the ones of the middle falls out. We said it's no longer functional, it's no longer usable, you can't use it, it's tahor. That sounds like if you have two in a row, meaning we said if the middle one falls out, right? You have three in a row. If the middle one falls out, that's a problem. But if one of the side ones falls out, you still have two in a row, then it's tameh. And then it says, if three are left, it's tameh. Sounds like Gimel in Shtayim lo. It sounds like if two are left, it's not tameh. So within the Mishnah itself, you have a contradiction. On the one hand, it says if the middle one is gone, that's a problem. It sounds like if the other one is gone, but there's two left, that's fine. But then it says that no, if there's three left, that's a problem, it's still tameh. If there's two left, then it's fine, it's tahor. So the Gemara says, Umay kushya, that's not a question. Dilma ha begviata ha bebrayata. Maybe one is, right, the way Rashi gives two different pshatim over here. Maybe one is, there's two different, Rashi explains, there's two different rows of teeth that this comb has. So he says maybe one is talking about there's one comb, one row of teeth that this comb has that's meant to actually do the function and comb the wool, and the other row of teeth is just meant to catch the wool that comes out. So maybe that which you need three in a row and you need all three, that's the ones that are actually functioning. But the ones that are just there to catch the wool, you don't need all three. 2 is enough. So that's not a question. That's not a problem with the Mishnah. So what's the issue with the Mishnah that we say, oh, this Mishnah it has a mistake in it, it's not the halacha? Ela mehacha. Diktani v'chulan shenitlu achat achat b'fnei atzman temeot. On the one hand, the Mishnah said that when the teeth of the comb fall out, each one is tameh because it can be used. It has a function. They will use it for either to clean out the candle or to stick in clothing.
Which type of comb for this?
So we said that for the pishtan, but either way, we said this for the pishtan. This line that if the tooth comes out,
they said they have set of 3.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yes, but the teeth, it sounds like were the same type of teeth. Generally, the comb was wood and the teeth were metal. That's generally what it was. So when the teeth fall out, so on the one hand, in one part of the Mishnah, we said that if they fall out, they're still tameh because they have a use. The comb itself is tahor, can't function anymore, but the teeth, they still have a use. Ema seifa, but if you look at the seifa of the Mishnah, it doesn't fit. It says achat v'hitkina lener. If one of them fell out and he specifically designated it and was mitakenet, he fixed it up to be used for a candle to clean out the candle, or lemituach, or to use to put in the clothes, temeah, then it's tameh. So it sounds like hitkina in lo hitkina lo. It sounds like only if he designated it to be used for that use, then it has a function and it's tameh. So the Gemara is pointing out the problem with this Mishnah is within the Mishnah itself, you have a contradiction. On the one hand, it seems to say that if one of the teeth falls out, automatically it's tameh because it has a use. On the other hand, in a few lines, it says if one of the teeth falls out, you have to designate it for the use. If you didn't designate it for any use, we say it's tameh. It doesn't. We say it's tahor. It's not mekabel tumah. It doesn't have a use. So that's the contradiction in the Mishnah. So Amar Abaye, Umay Kushya. Abaye says, well, what's the question over here? I have an easy solution. Dilma ha bekatayhu ha belokatayhu. One is talking about that when the tooth fell out, it fell out with a piece of wood attached to it, so it has a handle like as part of it. So that you don't have to do anything. You don't have to designate it because it's already made into a kli. It has a little piece of wood at the end, and it has the prong. It has the tooth. So it's perfect. It's a little metal prong with a little wooden handle that's perfect to use for those uses of cleaning out the candle and whatnot. But when there's no wood attached to it, then you need to designate it for that use. Then by itself, the way that it is, it's not automatically a kli. So that's how Abaye answers that contradiction. So that's habekatayu. One is talking about it has a handle stuck to it. Habelokatayu. The other one is talking about that there's no handle, then you have to actually make it into a kli. Amar Rav Papa. Rav Papa says, Umay kushya. He says, I have a different answer. Vedilma ha bekatinta ha be'alimta. Abaye, Rav Papa says maybe one is talking about the thin ones, one is talking about the thick ones, meaning there's different types of teeth. Yeah. So Ella, rather, the Gemara says, you know why this Mishnah, even though it's a stam Mishnah, and we say halacha ke stam Mishnah, you know why we don't say halacha is like this? Mishum de mesayme ba devanki, because the people who are miduyakim, who are very precise in the Mishnayot, they have at the end of this Mishnah, Zu divrei Rabbi Shimon, that this is only the opinion of Rabbi Shimon. So it's not a stam Mishnah that has no name that we're going to pass in. Like it tells us this is Rabbi Shimon. Okay, so Chachamim will argue with Rabbi Shimon. So therefore halacha is not like this Mishnah, because it's only the opinion of Rabbi Shimon. It's not the stam opinion. It's not the stam Mishnah. It's not the opinion of the Chachamim. Shalach Rabbi Chia bar Avin. So now back to what we were talking about, right? Back to talking about the halacha of havchana, of getting married within 3 months, of separating from a husband. So Shalach Rabbi Chia bar Avin, Marasin toch gimel. Rabbi Chia bar Avin says he sent a letter that the halacha is, the way he holds, is a person could have erusin within 3 months. Meaning they can have kiddushin, not get married, not have biyah with their husband. They're still asura on their husband, but they can have kiddushin within 3 months. V'chein osim maaseh, and we make maasim like that also. That's what we do. We do kiddushin within 3 months. This is not the practice. This is not the halacha. V'chein haya Rabbi Elazar melamedenu, and so Rabbi Elazar also taught us. He said mishum Rabbi Chanina Agadol, in the name of Rabbi Chanina Agadol, that rubo shel rishon verubo shel shelishi, that when we say 3 months, you need a majority of the first month, so more than 2 weeks of the first month. So let's say 15 days, 16 days of the first month. And rubo shel shelishi, and majority of the last month. Ve'emtzai shalim, in the middle month, full. So it comes out to be over 60 days, right? You have 15 days of the first month. So let's just say 16 days of the first month, 30 days of the second month, and then 15 days, 16 days of the next month. So a little bit over 60 days, you could already get married. You don't need 3 full months. Then you could have, at least you have kiddushin. He didn't say, he's not talking about nisuin, he's talking about kiddushin. Amemar shara liares biyom tishim. Amemar said they could have kiddushin on the 90th day from when she leaves the husband. Either the husband divorced her or he died. 90 days later, on the actual 90th day, she could get kiddushin. Amar le Rav Ashi la Amemar. Rav Ashi said to Amemar, v'harav v'shmuel damre tarvayhu tzricha la'amtin shlosha chodashim. Rav and Shmuel, they both teach that she needs to wait 3 months, and chutz miyom shemet bo vechutz miyom shenit arasabo, and the 3 months is not including the day that the husband dies. That doesn't count as the first day of the 3 months, and also it's not including the day that she gets engaged. So she has to have a full 90 days after the husband dies. The next day is day 1. And then day 90, she's asura still to get married. Day 91, that's when she could get kiddushin. So Rav and Shmuel seem to say that you can't get married on the 90th day. You need a full 90 days before to get married. So the Gemara says, no. That wasn't talking about excluding the last day and the first day was not talking about someone whose husband died. It's talking about meneket. It's talking about somebody who is nursing. Again, there's 2 different reasons not 2 different reasons, but a person cannot marry a woman who may be pregnant, and he also cannot marry a woman who is nursing. So for pregnant, as long as you wait the 3 months, that's fine. For nursing, you have to wait 24 months, the whole time that she's nursing. So that which we said, that Rav and Shmuel said has to be a complete time and you have to wait till after that time, that's talking about nursing, that you have to wait the full 24 months and then after. The Rav Shmuel Damri Tarvaihu tzricha lamtin kafta al chodesh chutz miyom shenolad bo vechutz miyom shenit'aresa bo. They say by meneket, by a nursing woman, by a woman that has a baby under 2 months, under 2 years, that you have to wait 24 months. She has to wait 24 months to get married, excluding the day that she gave birth, and also excluding the day that he turns 2, the last day. So the Gemara says, "V'ha hahu da'avad seudat erusin biyom tishim, v'av sedei rava." So the Gemara says, okay, so 1 second. You're telling me that on the 90th day, right? Again, you're telling me that which you have to wait until the whole term is over, that's talking about a woman who was pregnant. But a woman who's nursing, that's talking about a woman who's nursing. But a woman who is pregnant, you don't need to wait until the whole 90 days is over. You could on the 90th day have kiddushin. If that's what you're telling me, I have a disproof to that. Because there was a guy who on the 90th day, he did kiddushin, and he made a whole seudah and everything, and he was going to have a party that day. Vav Sedei Rava. And Rava said, no, you can't do it. You have to wait. Not yet. And Rava made him lose out on the Seudah. Vav Sedei Rava Seudate. So the Gemara says, no, Ai Seudat Nisuin Havai. That was Nisuin. That was he was going to get married and have Biyah. That you can't do on the 90th day. You need to wait until day 91. The Gemara says at the end of the day, the halacha is if a woman has a baby and she wants to get married, right? Her husband divorced her husband died, and she has a baby. They have to wait 24 months for the baby to be fully weaned. Chutz miyom shenolad bo, with exception of the day that the baby was born, that doesn't count towards the 24 months. V'chutz miyom shenit aresa bo, and the day that she gets engaged also cannot be on the 24 months. So her baby is born, starting the next day we count the full 24 months, and then after that she's able to accept kiddushin. And if the woman may be pregnant after she divorces her husband, or after a woman divorces her husband, you need to wait 3 months, even if you know she's not pregnant. Chutz miyom shemet, excluding the day that the husband dies. V'chutz miyom shenit arsa bo, and excluding the day that she gets erusin on that day. So this is the halacha. There are a lot of tshuvas about this. Moshe has a lot of tshuvas, or Ovadia has a lot of tshuvas of when let's say the woman is not actively nursing, but her baby is still under 24 months. So there are different shitot in the achronim. Whether she could get married. The halacha is not, but in general there's what to work with. If different opinions, or Ovadia had a case where there was a woman who it was less than 24 months, and she was, I think it was like 15 months or 18 months old baby, and she had a shidduch with a guy, and the guy, she was, single mother struggling to support, and the guy was able to, he would be able to support her family and everything, and a few different details of the case, and based off of all the little details, he was matir in that situation because of, she wasn't actively nursing, and it was 18 months already, and it was for parnasah and whatever. So everything is taken into account when dealing with these situations. But in general, the halacha is 24 months, or when she's pregnant, she cannot get married. First 3 months after her husband dies or divorces her, or if she has a baby, she cannot get married for 24 months. Okay. Let's go a little bit further. I think it's good to go a little bit further because Pesach we might have to make up a couple days. So let's just do a little bit.
You have to do it by yourself.
Huh? No, you know what? Maybe let's stop here.
You have to go to the
Yeah. Okay.